Thereabouts, I'm going to take the next guest before we take the very last person. The chairman of Kowa Party is very much around. That's Mr. Tondo. Well, let me welcome to the studios this morning, Mr. Barrister, right? Am I correct?
That's correct, yes.
Barrister Gbenga Akinmoyo.
Yes.
Correct?
That's correct.
You are popularly called Garo.
Correct.
Everything is correct.
Yes, almost.
Good to have you in the studio,
It's
Garo.
a pleasure.
All right,
And a very good morning to all our viewers at home.
All right, now, let's quickly look at the nitty-gritty of the issue at hand, the judgments against that affects your party, PDP, as a legal practitioner. How do you say it?
Well, once again, very good morning to all our viewers at home. The judgment is referred to is the one of the 29th of June 2016, and more importantly, an interlocutory order that was made on the 14th of October, earlier this month. Those are the two issues that have been making the rounds. Everybody is talking about it. We in the PDP are very confident that sanity in the legal and judicial profession will soon come to bear. Very soon, towards the end of this week, we're expecting that all the wrongs will be corrected. But you see, for the shortage of time, I have to restrict and just give people a flavor of what's going on. The lawyers always complicate matters by using strong terms. But let me give one quick scenario to our viewers at home. If your landlord says you're owing him money and he asks you to pay up and you're unable to pay, then what you do is you enter into a negotiation. If he reaches the end of his tether and he says, look, I'm going to court, he will instruct his lawyers to issue a petition. And you as a tenant who is in the wrong will have to come and defend yourself. Now, it is unheard of in the legal profession for the same lawyer to act for landlord and tenant in such a matter. Because if that happens, you have what we call in the profession misconduct, professional misconduct. Because there's a conflict of interest. It's not possible for the landlord's lawyer to stand up in court and say, Mr. A is owing me and has been owing me for the last 3 years, and I want my money. He's a perpetual debtor. He has no plans of paying. He's been evading the payment, and so on and so forth. And what you will expect is that the tenant's lawyer will stand up and say, well, it's not the case, my lord. This is the situation. He'll try and mitigate the situation. But what we had in this particular case, both in June and in October, when the judgment and the orders were made, was that the tenant's landlord, as it were, stood up and said, I agree, my lord, with everything that has been said. Now, that can only happen where you have conspiracy, connivance, complicity. And we as a PDP have issued petitions to make it quite clear that so many things have gone wrong that led to not just the order, but also the judgment back in June. Justice Abang will be in hot soup. And we make no bones in saying that, hot soup. The lawyers, and there's a distinguished, or one or two distinguished sons that are involved in this process. And the law firms that were involved have all been reported to the appropriate judicial and professional bodies. Because if we allow this kind of thing to happen and go unpunished, in this instance in Ondo State, then who's going to be next? Today it's the PDP. Tomorrow it could be Kowa. Next tomorrow it could be Forensic Party. But the important thing is that we have to use this as a baseline for saying that things that happen that are wrong must be corrected. And there are so many things that went wrong in this particular case. So many things. Now, the same lawyer who issued the petition turned round in court to be representing the defendant. It doesn't happen. So PDP, as far as Ondo State was concerned, and in fact as the PDP as a national party in this country was concerned, were not representing in any of those suits. And that's the reason why we've now taken the matter to a higher level to report what has happened. There are petitions that have gone even as high as the presidency to say that this cannot be acceptable, it's not tolerated. So that's the baseline of what's going on.
All right, Garo, let's, your party has appealed the judgment, right? And I'm aware that the judgment is still
The
right.
judgment or the order?
The order.
Yes.
Okay, order. You're a lawyer, so
Yes.
you should know better.
The interlocutory order has
Yeah.
been
In appeal.
Yes.
But I'm aware, or maybe you correct it, I'm aware that the same appeal you're appealing is still before the same Justice Abang. Are you sure of getting fair judgment?
We don't, when you appeal a matter, you don't actually appeal a matter to a judge. You appeal a matter to the courts, to the institution.
Yeah.
It is then for the institution to look at the appropriate judge or justice to take on a matter. Now, if we are complaining about the conduct of Justice Okon, it would be unreasonable for this matter to now go before him to adjudicate on. It would be unreasonable. And that's why we've had to cry foul, because there's foul play. There's complicity between the judge to some extent, with the lawyers, and with the parties. Because somebody appeared in court to represent PDP, and it wasn't, as we know, it wasn't an authorized person from PDP.
So what
we're saying is, we don't expect him to be the one to sit on the matter.
Okay.
But there are other matters. There are at least 3 other suits that are in his court, in his domain, which he hasn't ruled on at all. And the facts of those cases haven't even been heard. You see, it's absurd. Eitayo Jegede, who's the candidate of the PDP for the governorship elections that are coming up next month, has never ever been asked to appear in court on any matter, whether directly or coincidentally or tangentially. He has never been called. And indeed, the ruling that was given nearly 2 weeks ago now, in favor of a certain party, that person also was not even part of any suit. So, for example, you go to the court and you say that, I think that my neighbor has been trespassing on my property and has taken some of my goods which have disappeared. And the judge listens to both sides and he says, you know what, the head of the church at the end of the street should be the beneficiary of this your protest. He wasn't involved in the suit. How does he come into it? You see, you have to be an interested party or part of the suit before you can benefit. So there are so many things that are wrong. And we suggest in the PDP very strongly that it must have been fraudulent connivance that led to such a judgment coming. And it can't hold water. And in any event, INEC as a body are required to follow the Electoral Act. They're required to follow certain laid down principles and guidelines for running an election. So far, INEC have been very astute and upfront with what they need to do. They follow their timetable. On the specific dates, they've released the names that need to be released. They've let the people generally know what is going on. And we are very confident that INEC as a body and their legal team will look at all the issues, and there's absolutely no doubt that the candidate for the PDP at the end of the process will be Eitayo Jegede SAN.
Well, Answer, thank you so very much. Obviously, Barrister Akinmoyo, I know your party is actually looking forward to something very tangible from that. Well, for the short term, like you said, I have to thank you for being part of the show. Maybe at other times again, you may need to come back and do a proper appraisal of the issue. Thank you for coming.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much.
We'll take another break now. When we'll come back.